Hey guys, it's Tracy and welcome to my channel. I am going to be sharing with you how I made this phone stand right here. I have not cut it out yet and we'll do that together. Don't know how well it's going to translate because this is going to be engraving and I am going to be using my M1 xTool M1 10-watt laser. So we'll see. But what I wanted to do, I wanted to pop on here to show you guys how I created this. And all the files that I use came from Creative Fabrica, and I will have a link in my description box to those files. So I thought it was, I wanted a different shape. So I was like, well, let me just try it and see if I can do it. So as you can tell, let me zoom in. See, the shape here is a little different. You see more of the original shape of the phone stand, and this one you don't. So that would just be based on where you place your offset, because that's what we have to create is an offset. All right, so let me move these out of the way. So when you bring this image in, I think it came in kind of big. So you just want to resize it as well as this one, because this came from Creative Fabrica as well. You just want to resize it to the shape that you need. And then this phone stand too came from Creative Fabrica, and it did come in at the correct size. So what I'm doing is just grabbing all of these pieces right here because this is not attached. So I'm grabbing that. And I want to bring that over here, and then I want to take this design, which I have it. I'm going to need to resize this some. All right, so in order to make a shape, instead of it being this rectangle shape, and if you wanted to do something like this, you have to take whatever design you're using. And let me move this over some as well. So you want to zoom in. You want to select the design, and you want to come over here to the offset panel. And then we're going to do an offset. We're not going to do an internal offset. We just want to do an offset. And your offset could be as big as you like. I'm leaving mine at 0.125, which is like 1/8 of an inch. Now, when you do the offset, let me click off of it. You'll see that there's a piece that it traced in here, but no worries, we'll take care of that. So let's move this original design, and then you want to go back here and you want to select, I'm right clicking, and you want to release compound path. And then you can just delete this because we don't need it. So now you want to take your offset, and you can place this wherever you want it. You can have it more this way. You can actually make it larger too, because see what will happen. Let's just do it here so I can show you. But if you want, you can make it larger so that both of these ends are kind of coming over the side of that original design. So now once you have that, you want to select your offset, and you just want to select the line for the phone holder, not that inside piece. And then you can right click and you can select Weld, and see what it did. It took on that shape, and then you just move your image in place. So now let's see. So we have that one, and what I could do is just make a copy of this. Let me put this back in. And then here is that word. Let me make a copy of that as well and bring this over. And again, you can put whatever you want here. And then I am using Business Edition because in order to use this in the xTool software, which is Creative Space, you need to save this image as an SVG file. If you have Silhouette Studio in the Basic Edition, there are softwares out there that you can use that will turn your design into an SVG, but I am not familiar with them, but I have heard there is such a thing. Now what I want to do is just grab another copy of this, which I should have grabbed earlier. Let me just bring this down over here. I don't really need that piece. And I'm just going to rotate this, go to Object, Rotate, 90 degrees. And let me set it. Okay, so with this being here, what you want to take this image again, go over on the right hand side is where mine is, and you want to go over to the offset panel. So now if you want that offset to be a little wider, go to offset, and you can bump this up. So let's say we want it to be a quarter of an inch. We would come over here and type in 250. And see, that is like really big if you wanted that. But that's really big. So let's just stick with that for now. And let's bring this down here. Let's say that we want that kind of even with that. And see, this time you saw, like before, it created that additional piece in the inside. It didn't do that this time. So now what you can do, so we don't have to click on it and release anything. So you want to click on the outside edge of the holder and click on your offset, and then right click and do weld. And then there you go. So now what I would do is I'm going to bring this over here, and I'm going to group it all together. We'll see what that does once we get into the xTool software. Right click and do group. So now I'm going to save these down. Let me see. Is that, I think that's the right spot. So yeah, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to save these down as SVG files. So I'm going to do that. And to do that, if you have Business Edition, you probably already know how to do this, but I am going to select this image, go up to File, Save Selection, Save to Hard drive. And then I'm going to do the same thing for this one. Just select it. Oh, you know what? I want to bring this in with it as well, because I need to cut this out. And I can always pull a copy from this one over there. But I'm just going to be cutting one anyway. So I'm going to grab all of this. I'm going to go to File, Save Selection, Save to Hard drive. So I'm going to grab all of this. I'm going to go to File, Save Selection, Save to Hard drive. I am now in the xTool software, which is known as XCS, or it's called xTool Creative Space. So now what I want to do, I want to pull in my image. So in order to do that, you want to go to File, or I go to File, Import. So now you see it brought it in, but it brought it in, it's not even on the material because there's a camera inside of the M1. So I am going to bring this down here so that it is on the material. And in order for me to be able to do any moving around, because right now when it brings it in, it almost kind of locks the mouse or whatever you're using to the image. So in order to be able to move around, you want to select. You want to select, and then click. Alright, so now I'm going to zoom in on this. So it says over here laser flat. So laser flat is, of course, when you're using a laser. And if you did not purchase the riser with the honeycomb, then you would select laser flat and you will use your triangular prisms that came with the machine, because what you want to do, you want to elevate your wood or acrylic, whatever it is, you want to elevate that so that air flows underneath of your cut. And also, if you don't do that, you're going to cut into the bed of your machine. So because I do have mine on the risers, I am going to change this from laser flat to open plane. And I know some people can use laser flat with the risers. I tried that once, it worked fine. When I went to go do it again, it didn't work fine. So I'm finding that open plane is more consistent. So then for materials, I want to select what I'm going to be using, which is 3mm Basswood Plywood, and I picked mine up from xTool. And I want to do an auto measure. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And something you notice, I was going to say, well, auto measure, it does make adjustments. And you see where, I don't know if you saw that, the screen kind of snapped and it enlarged a little bit. So now what I want to do, I want to grab this all again and just move this over here. So what I'm going to do here, this is the base of the stand, the phone stand. So I am going to grab this, both of those together. Then I'm going to go up here and group. And while I have that selected, I want to go ahead and assign like either score, engrave, or cut. So I want to assign the output setting, and that is going to be cut. And now I know xTool has as 105, but I always change mine. I do user define, and I change mine to 80 and 5. And I'm going to go over here, and I might as well start in the middle here. I'm going to select this image here, and that is going to be engraved. And again, I'm going to define my settings, and I'm going to select the user defined parameters, and I do 80 and 80. And I'm going to select that word, hold my shift key, and select these other words as well, because they're all going to be engraved too, and I actually could have did it with that. So engrave, user defined parameters, 80 and 80. And now I'm going to select my outside edge and this inside piece. So I select that, hold my shift key, and then I'm selecting that inner piece, and I'm going up here and choosing group. And let me just make sure. Then what I want to do there, I want to define those cut settings as well. So I'll go to user define parameters. I want to put in 80 and cut setting, and so 80 power, 5 speed, and 1 pass. All of those, I don't know if I said, all of them have 1 pass. So that is it. So I am ready to cut this out. Let me just make sure to smooth this. I think that's good there. Put this here. And I'll get this cut out and see what it looks like. Let me zoom in a little bit. Now I am a little concerned about this right here, because see, when I click on it, you see how you see a little outline over here by the hair and the glasses. So I don't know, but when you're not on it, it looks like it's all running together. So I'm not sure what it's going to do, but I am going to try it, and I will be back to show you guys the end results. And let me just do a double check. So that's cut 80 and 5. That is 80 and 80, the engraving. $80 and $80, $80 and $80, $80 and $80. All right, and then this outside edge should be 80 and 5. Oh, wait a minute, and that looks like it's on score. So see, I'm glad I double checked that. So see, that one's on score, and I don't want that on score. I want that on cut. So let me go here and go 80 and 5. So it doesn't hurt, guys, to just double check your settings. All right, so I will be back once this is finished cutting, and we all can see what it's going to look like. Alright guys, so this is ready to be cut. So now what we want to do, or now what needs to be done, is to go to process. And what I recommend doing is doing the framing, just to make sure that the laser is going to be on the material, that it's going to be in the right place on the material that you placed inside. And then too, what I always recommend too, if you're going to be looking at that laser, I don't want to look directly on it, but I recommend that you have some type of safety glasses. And also, depending on how well ventilated your area is, or if you're sensitive to smells, and invest in getting a mask. So now what happens, you have to go to the front of the machine and press the button, which you guys can't see because I don't have my camera on it. Press the button and then it'll do the framing. Alright guys, so I will be back once this finishes cutting out. Okay, what I wanted to show you is that once it's finished framing, it comes up here and the machine tells you that framing is complete. So you can just press that button, and if you're okay with the framing, then you can go ahead and select start. But before I do that, I'm going to turn on my smoke purifier and my, I believe that's what it's called, and then my air assist, because I almost forgot that. But the same thing with that is that once I hit start, a button will come up and I'll have to go to the machine and actually press the button to start it. So I am going to take care of that now, and I'll come back and show you guys what it looks like. So see, that comes up, and then I'm going to hit complete, and then I'm going to go up there and hit the button so it can start processing. Okay, so it has stopped cutting. I was trying to let you guys see it cutting, but I was having issues with my iPhone. It has a crack in the lens, so this bright light was coming up when I was trying to record that. Then my Logitech wouldn't connect, so I finally got that connected after this cut. So we're going to see if it cut all the way through. Now I have these magnets in here, and if it didn't, that's fine. Again, this is a test. So this is what the magnets look like, and they just go right down inside the honeycomb. So let's see. So this is what we have. So here's that piece. And then we have this piece here, and you can hear it. It probably could have went, this one in some spots it didn't cut all the way through, but here is the actual image. And see, and I was concerned about the glasses running into her hair. So if I was to do this over again, I would look for an image where there's more defined, like there's some separation, is what I'm trying to say, separation between the glasses and her hair, and even up here, so it doesn't all run together. So let's look at the back. So it's just a couple little spots there that did not cut through. So let me grab something. So I'm just going to get this X-Acto knife that I have. Hopefully you guys can see. And I'm just going to because I'm telling you, it's barely hanging on, just slice through the back of that. Looks like it's split a little bit too. Okay, so yeah, it looks like it did split a little bit. You can see that back here. But that's it. So let me move this. Alright, so I think this goes like that. Or does it go like this? Maybe it goes like that. And I have to wipe it off with some soot on it. Yep. Let's see, guys. I don't know. Let's figure it out. No. Well, I have to figure out how it's supposed to go. Is it like that? Yeah, like that. So you push this, I guess, all the way. Yeah, you push that all the way in, so you can't see that. Let me put this down, hopefully. So what you do is put this in, push it all the way back, and then that creates your stand. So again, I have soot on it just because. And two, what you could do is paint this some kind of, paint it a different color and still do the engraving and see how, that comes out. But besides that little hiccup there, and like that running into one another, then I'm pleased with it. So that's cute. So I have to find another design. So I may try it again with another type of design, just this, like I said, so I can have some separation in between there. Alright guys, so if you have any questions, please feel free to leave me a comment and I will get back to you. Otherwise, thanks a lot for watching, commenting, and subscribing. Bye. Okay guys, I thought I should just show you this. So I'm just taking a rag and I'm just wiping the edges off because, it burning, it gets soot. And you see how you have variations of color here. That's just the wood. Not every spot is going to be the same. Not every spot is going to burn the same. Yep, so just wiping it off to get most of the soot off. And then too, a magic eraser, you can use that as well. And you will smell like a burnt smell, but it does, after a few days, it does go away. So like I said, I could actually paint, like this, say if I just wanted to paint the bottom, I could do that. But there it is. Alright guys,